which provided context for both as well as character growth for both. Hell. Hello, my name is Shantel from Shantel is Probably Sorry. The time the reaction starts is in the description. Now this is The Flash Season 4 Episode 16 called Run, Iris, Run. I really don't have anything to say except between last week's episode and this week's episode, I've learned that it is Earth 1 Iris that becomes a speedster and that the female speedster that Jay Garrick is training on Earth 3 is unidentified. So, not Iris as well. They're not gonna approach spawn, are they? Everything's purple.
I hacked into security footage of that night to see how he did it. This
that is
why he's so smart.
Security footage.
DeVoe boosted his intelligence with neurochemical engineering powered by the dark energy from the particle accelerator.
You don't have any concept of how dangerous it is for me out there.
Yes, I do.
How could you?
Because I'm the leader of this team.
But you're always back there, hiding, safe and sound. While the rest of us are out in the field, putting our lives on the line.
That's funny. And that line is placed there specifically for the purpose of what's going to happen in this episode, and probably for character growth. Wonder if this means Iris is going to get seriously injured, to put in context what the other members of the team do.
You shouldn't be using the powers you've been given this way. I'll use them any way I see fit, including frying you to a crisp. Oh, I don't think you will. You don't want to hurt me or anyone in this bank. You can still walk away from this.
That's the bus meta.
What the hell? What those? They're gone.
At first I thought it was Flame Guy, but then I realized that it was other guy.
What did you do to him?
What? So you can steal mine?
No. Let her go.
Put the gun down. I said put it down.
That's impolite.
He didn't deserve this.
Oh, I see.
You did this, not me.
I got him.
I see what happened there. That was cool.
I lost my speed.
I think I found it.
Yeah, I like the effect, how they visually... stop that. I like how they visually showed Flash's powers going through the bus meta, Kim, and then entering Iris.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Speed Force, the dark matter. It's all a part of Iris now.
We the Flash.
Can you reverse it? I don't know. I can try.
The reverse Flash. I'm just kidding.
No, Matthew Kim isn't just removing the...
Gradually ramp your speed down.
Do that?
Oh.
Oh.
You okay?
I know this isn't easy on you.
I'm fine. I am.
Oh, damn.
I lost my speed. I lost my job in the CCPD. Just feels like DeVoe is... You can't go out there wearing that.
Oh, right. Sorry, Kate.
But isn't the whole problem with wearing normal clothes while being a speedster is that the friction
If you're on comms.
will set them on fire?
Yeah.
We're just gonna ignore that continuity thing. Just gonna ignore it.
It's making it worse.
Go the opposite direction. Go the opposite direction.
Is she rotating her arms the wrong way?
Go the opposite
Go
direction.
the opposite direction, okay? Iris. What was that? Iris.
My leg is pinned. I can't move.
That escalated very
You
quickly.
have to phase through it. Failing. The ceiling's gonna collapse.
Barry, the whole place is going up.
Ah, so it's like, oh, cool. It's a thing for both of them. It's him getting context about what it takes to run the team and her getting context about what it takes to be in the field. It's the guy from Glee, by the way. Nice to see you, guy from Glee.
I'll take it from here.
When you've created new metas and they're like right in front of you. Both of
How
them.
about we just end this right now?
Give me my money before I unleash hell!
Can you calm
What the hell was
down?
that?
Now run, Iris. Run.
I have the chills.
She did.
Nice work, Flash.
Oh, wow.
It's your call.
That is a lot to sacrifice.
To save running water is really fun. If you guys will have me back, I would love to get back behind the console again. Of course.
Please and thank you.
Ready?
It's your call? Wow.
With your help, I might actually have a chance.
How do we start? I'll give
Wow.
you this one.
I really like Matthew.
No offense, I like my Barbies. Make one hell of a Flash. In or out of costume.
Thanks.
Hug. They're not gonna hug.
You know what?
Dang
Yeah.
it.
I think maybe it's time to...
You know what makes a great speedster? It isn't their speed. It's being the light that everyone needs when the world grows dark. It's the kind of person they are. The kind of person that always wants to help. That's why being the Flash is your destiny. It's your way of helping others,
I refuse to cry.
but it isn't mine.
Hey.
This is
The last two remaining bus metas. Janet Petty and Neptune Gauss.
Is it just me or did everyone look super good this episode? I was like, Candace looks super good, Grant looks super good, Carlos looks super good, everyone just looked super good. Danielle, Tom, I don't know. They just all looked really good. So that was Flash 416 called Run, Iris, Run. Before I start talking about the actual episode, I'd like to clarify the comment that I made about not the security camera. It is a personal, not really a pet peeve, but something that always sticks out to me and somewhat annoys me. When there's footage that's supposed to come from a stationary camera, but for whatever reason, whether it be lack of planning, it's mainly lack of planning, the footage obviously does not come from a stationary camera. Or from Black 101, they planned in advance. The security footage, we saw that, and then it came back around at the end of the season, and it was in fact the security footage, not the camera that pans and moves. And I see that happen a lot, where because of lack of planning or lack of foresight or not being able to, they have to use footage from the actual show that is not stationary footage and try to pass it off as security camera footage. It always just, it bugs me just a little bit. And that's the only reason I said something about it. So I just checked out the Flash IMDb page because I needed some information. And I saw that this episode was rated really low, and I'm bringing this up because I like it. And I'm going to explain why I like it, but I'm just going to say this first. I was scrolling through and looking at the ratings, and I saw that the rating for last night's episode, or this episode, was really low. And I was like, wow, is that the lowest rating we've had this entire season? It's not. It's the second lowest rating of this season. The first lowest rating was episode 5 called Girls Night Out. Girls Night Out is rated a whole point below Run, Iris, Run. I don't know why that is exactly. I think that it's probably a combination of the demographic of the Flash audience, as well as I know part of the fandom doesn't like Iris. I feel like that's commonplace though. I feel like every single fandom has the one character they don't like, or multiple characters that they just don't like. As I was saying, I like this episode. I think the most distinctive factor of this episode that made me like it is the fact that I really like AU episodes. I really like alternate universe episodes. I love them. They're my favorite types of episodes. And I love episodes that explore different possibilities for characters. Barry and Iris switch places. Them switching places provided character growth for the both of them, as well as context for the both of them. There's something I want to say, but I guess I'll finish this section, then I'll say it. Try not to mess up all my topics here. This episode contained Iris development, or at least insight into Iris's character, which I always find nice. In general, I always find character development or learning about what makes a character tick nice. I always like that. That's one of the reasons I love Orphan Black so much, because we know everything about what makes each of the girls tick, what makes each of them do what they do. So I love that in general, and then I especially like it for Iris because I feel like we don't get a lot of that, or at least when we do, it's very subtle. So if you aren't specifically looking at it as someone who knows how to easily identify character development, it's easy to miss. And I know I've talked to many people in my daily life about this show, but I remember one of the persons I talked to didn't like Iris, and we had a conversation about why she didn't like Iris and why I did. And I think her reasoning was that she seemed like a stagnant character, and this conversation happened like mid-season 3 maybe. She felt as though from some point in season 2 on, there wasn't really anything developed about her character, that her character wasn't going anywhere. One of my favorite parts of this episode, or the thing that almost made me cry in this episode, was how Barry was ready to sacrifice his powers. That in itself was a big one for me. And then Iris's response on why she couldn't keep the powers made it even bigger. I was like, my little soul can't take these things. I feel like it took a lot of selflessness for Barry to say it's your call, and I also think it required Iris putting Barry above herself in that situation as well. Harry's been messing with the thinking cap. My only concern is that it's going to have a permanent effect, and my issue with that would be, would I even like this version of Harry if he had the mental capacity of the thinker? And would it affect his brain like the Mirakuru? Next episode doesn't air until April 10th. I plan on making a reaction, but because the date is so far away, I won't be able to actually 100% guarantee that it would be a reaction. It may end up being a review depending on what I'm doing in my life at that point. But that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you liked it. You can check out my channel, my playlist, or my description to see what other shows I watch and what else I do. And subscribe if any of those things interest you. Hope you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful existence, and I guess that brings me to... but I just hit myself in the face. Bye. And I saw that this episode was rated really low, and I'm bringing this up because I like it, and I'm going to explain why I like it. But I'm just going to say this first. This episode is rated really low. And I was like, whoa, is this the lowest rated episode of the season? Sky, what's wrong?
I'll beat you there right now. That's not what I sound like.
Fine.
Which provided context for both, as well as character growth for both. Hell. And them switching place, and would it affect his brain like the Mirakuru? Mirakuru.
Wow, it's super annoying.
Wait, when does Arrow air? Arrow airs Wednesday. Never mind. Oh god. It's Iris Speedster. You know what? I gotta rewind it. I can't not watch that.
That's my speed.
Oh, I think I found it. Iris is a speedster now.
Wow, it's super annoying.
Only this Tuesday at 8.
It's purple!
On the CW.
Without making a statement.
I need to finish restocking my inventory before another call comes in. I can't help you.
I got hanger.
I guess that brings me to... but I just hit myself in the face. Bye.